It's a tough place to go. So smiles all round.
Yeah, you know what? And at half time, I was speaking about Werner, and you see the way he picked the ball up and drove with that speed. At one stage, I did think he almost got too far away from him, but when he brought Tammy in, such a perfectly timed pass, wasn't it? It's perfectly weighted. And he almost got one himself, didn't he? And he was offside. So I think I gave him a bit of a hard time. So much improved from him in the second half.
Maybe he's watching in the dressing room, Claire. Maybe that's it.
You know what? I think he is. That's exactly it.
Frank's going, I'll put my feet up today. Don't worry about it. Let Claire and Jason crack on with it. I mean, Dan's got his coaching badges as well. I see him every week. He's had little stripes on. He's loving it. Dan, mate, good result in it. I mean, it is a tough place to come. Before the game, I think all of us were confident, but then the closer it gets to kick off, you go, oh, I remember what happened in January. Oh, yeah, I don't like it actually coming up here. It's always difficult. But Frank will be probably more relieved than anything else to have come away, because this will be a place that a lot of teams will trip up at.
100%. This is one of the games that you look at, you don't quite know which direction it goes in. Obviously, we haven't done great here over the years, but it's one of those games that if you want to be taken as a serious contender in this league, you kind of have to come away with 3 points at these grounds. So Chelsea, I was very impressed with that second half performance. I wasn't even really upset with the first half of performance. We were 1-0 up and we were in no real trouble. I just felt like the tempo dropped off and it looked like we were just coasting to what could be a dangerous part of the game. But we really picked it up. Werner, just persistence, because I thought when he fluffed it when he had the one-on-one and went to pass instead of shooting, I thought, oh no, he's having one of those days. But he just persevered and you just cannot keep up with him. He just drove and he got there eventually.
Claire, it is a massive cliche, and I know that we all kind of die towards it, but champions and teams that go on to be successful get results when perhaps they're not at their best. I don't think anyone's going to watch today and go, this is Chelsea at their best. But, and like Dan's just mentioned about Timo Werner, there'll be a day where he'll have a chance like that and he'll come away with scoring 4. But games like today, when you get the result and you can sort of put it to bed and go, we've got that, we've moved on. That's the difference, isn't it? That's the mentality shift that we've seen over the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, you know what? And it's picking up on the momentum that we had for the international break. And it is a lot of mindset, that winning mindset. He's installed that in the team. Chelsea are a winning club. We expect to go to St. James's Park and win. Yes, it's always all good, I am saying. But you know what? They were so close, weren't they? They were a bit wasteful, I thought. They'd be kicking themselves a little bit. And that goes back to the ruthlessness that sometimes we've been lacking, actually putting these games to bed. But I think that second goal put the nail in the coffin for Newcastle, unfortunately.
Jay, the early kickoff's always a difficult one. We've seen managers in the last couple of weeks say that it's been staged to set them up to fail. Perhaps this was a bit of a test for Chelsea today. First one coming back after a tough international break, a difficult place to go anyway. A lot of people maybe would have been underlining this one as perhaps a real test of that mentality that we've spoken about. And Chelsea have come through that today.
Absolutely. International break. You want really a later kickoff, 12:30 away from home, a ground where traditionally we don't do particularly well. Yeah, you could see that the headlines perhaps were already written about Chelsea stumbling and not taking advantage of going top of the table. Not a bit of it. I mean, look, it wasn't Chelsea's best performance. We were the better side. The second goal was all important. That had to come because they still very much in it. And I thought we started the second half pretty sloppily, actually, and I was hoping for a bit more of a spark. It never really came. Timo should have finished the game off a couple of times, really, in all honesty. But he amended that and, of course, set Tammy up with a nice finish. But this is one of those games that it's over to you. There's going to be points dropped. Liverpool, Leicester, one's going to drop points, possibly both. Spurs, Man City. Same scenario there. So we've done our work. We're top of the table. Now we can look forward to the week, midweek in the Champions League. And, of course, the big one next weekend.
Dan, Jason's made a great point there about Timo, because I think the one thing that does almost get forgotten, he was supposed to be rested before the international break away at Burnley, before Pulisic pulled up in the warm-up. He's then gone away with Germany and been involved in an absolute horror show with Spain beating him 6-0. And he's played so much football and he's been consistently producing. I mean, his goal-to-minute ratio since he's joined Chelsea has been brilliant. And even by his standard, he'd probably be a little bit disappointed that he's not scored more. But that's exactly what you kind of want from him, don't you? When games like today come about, when he's probably, by his lofty standards, not scored, he'll be disappointed with that. So then you're looking at Tuesday, perhaps he gets a rest. or if he plays, you're looking for him to get the goal. But whatever happens now, you know there's a player in there that can react to something.
Yeah, he can come off the bench. He can have a late call up to a match. He's always going to be effective. And he didn't have his greatest game today, but he still basically made that second goal on his own, just driving at the defence. He could have had a couple of goals. He had one ruled off for offside. He had one where he decided to square it rather than shoot. So even though it wasn't his greatest day at the office, it was still a day where he could have, on a different day, come away with 3 goals. So that's the
Sorry to jump in, Dan. Lee Parker's got Tammy Abraham for us.
No problem.
Boys know that. We knew we had to come here with a performance today, and that's what we done. Give credit to the boys. These are the kind of games that are always tricky. When 1-0, you can't get that second goal, but give credit to the boys. We created a few chances, and another day we put all of them away.
How important was professionalism and patience, like you said, because it was a wait, wasn't it, for that second goal?
Yeah, it was a long wait. I just couldn't wait. But like I said, give credit to all the boys. We knew we were quick in the counter-attack, so as soon as we saw the space, we were all gone. And I'm sure there was about 5-6 of us that wanted to score, but luckily for me, I got on the end of it.
One of the beauties of there being no fans in here is you can hear everything. And I was watching you, and you could tell you were getting a little bit. I could see you getting frustrated and wanted to make those runs, make that space for that goal.
Yeah, the gaffer told me before the game it was always going to be a tricky game. These are the kind of games maybe you get 1 or 2 chances, and you have to put them away. And I had a chance in the first half which, to be fair, was a fantastic save, but I kept my head and got the second chance and I scored.
You're 5th of the season already. How pleased are you with your form?
Yeah, very pleased. I've always wanted to score goals for this club since the ages 6, 7, and to be doing it at the highest level is always an honour for me.
Do you feel like we're winning games this season that maybe would have tripped us up previously?
Most definitely, yeah. Yeah, like we were discussing, these are the kind of games, thinking back even to last year, we dominated the game but we lost, and that was always in the back of our mind, so we had to stay confident and stay patient.
You mentioned conversations with the manager. What is it like to have a boss that has so much faith in your ability?
I've said it before, many times before, growing up watching him play has always been an idol, even though he's not my position, just the way he carried himself, the way he used to come and watch us train and play matches, but, for him to be manager and, give confidence to the players, that's a dream come true.
Looking at the team today and this season especially, how much pace is there going forward?
A lot of pace, even though I still back myself to be the fastest. No, there's a lot of pace. Give credit to Timo and Hakim and Callum and etc. There's a lot of pace, so we know our strengths and we just have to use it.
And so much competition for places now, and you seem to be taking that as a challenge and pushing on once again.
Yeah, this is Chelsea Football Club. There's always going to be competition, and we have to be ready for the competition. And that's what the gaffer has told me since I came back to Chelsea, and that's what I always believe. I always have to fight for my position.
Nice to go top of the league as well, isn't it?
Oh, no pressure, but lovely.
Congratulations, thanks.
Cheers, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Couple of ones for the radios, mate.
So, Dan, Tammy talking there about, there's no pressure that the fact we're at the top of the league. But one thing that we did see today was that link up between him and Timo. And if we continue to see that, Chelsea will be at the top end for a good while, won't we?
Yeah, we'll be at the top end for the whole season, hopefully. And we'll probably be at the top of the goal scoring tallies as well, because that relationship is so important, especially when Timo does play from the left-hand side. And it seems to be growing week on week. And I'm excited for what this Chelsea team can become when they all kind of hit their peak at the same time and all really understand each other. But at the moment, it is really nice to watch. And there's little 5-10 minute patches where you just see total football.
It really is. And Claire, Dan touched on something just before we heard from Tammy Abraham about Timo Werner, about his we were speaking about his mentality. The one thing I did notice as well was the fact that not only was he sort of through on goal, not only was he's had the chances, but he's not then lashed at the chance. He still had the composure, despite having a couple not going his way and wanting a goal. He still had the composure and the team ethic to go, Tammy's in a better position, I'm still going to slide him in.
Yeah, and you know what? His footwork and the speed at which he was driving, he's making the defenders make a decision. and he drew. I think it was 2v1 almost, and Tammy was timed his run perfectly, but it was a lot to do with obviously the drive and the speed at which Werner was driving at them defenders. And the defender actually made that decision because of the spaces that they closed down. So is that composure is something that we've been lacking a little bit. Is what I criticised him for in the first half a little bit. That final ball. I did at one stage thought it got away from him a little bit too much, thought it was running too quick. But I mean, it's a cutting edge, isn't it? And as we see Tammy taking his opportunity.
Jace, defensively, Chelsea have been brilliant. I mean, 1 goal conceded in the last 7 games. Obviously, a new centre-half partnership of Zuma and Rudiger as well. Seemed to deal with everything, even the aerial threat when Andy Carroll come on. Kurt Zuma looked like he had him pocketed.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot to deal with, really, in all honesty. But what there was, we dealt with quite well. I think Carroll was offside just before the strike that went in there, where in the end it hit the side netting. There was one good save from Mendy as well. The shot that's come in, that's ricocheted off and bounced into the ground. And he didn't have a lot to do, but what he did again also done very well. But a clean sheet away from home. I think in Frank's first 21 games, we had 1 clean sheet away from home. I think with the last 3 now, we've had clean sheets. So it gives you some idea of where we were and where we are right now. So look, it's the perfect away performance, isn't it? Goal in each half, clean sheet. We'll go back to London. We'll play better, no doubt about that. But most important thing is the 3 points, and we're top of the table.
Absolutely, and games do come thick and fast now. Scored 16 in the last 5. We've got Rennes on Tuesday in the Champions League, who lost to Bordeaux 1-0 last night. So that they've got a little bit of an extra break before they play us. But in terms of fatigue and all that, it's going to carry on, because Spurs next Sunday is one that I know we all wish we were in the ground for, and one that I think we're all kind of reminiscing even the last time we played Spurs at the Bridge. And it's always a good game. It's always a big game. But Claire, when it comes to a London derby, when it comes to Chelsea Spurs, it doesn't matter if there's anyone in the ground, really, does it? That intensity and that tenacity is always going to be there.
Yeah, it's a feisty one always, isn't it? As you said, I would love to be there. But the players have that rivalry within them, especially Jose, always kind of likes to wind people up. So that'd be interesting to watch. I think it's a must win for us as well. It'd be kind of a statement of intent. How Jose likes sets his team up. So I think it'll be a great opportunity to showcase our talent.
It's a big one, isn't it, as well, Dan? Because it feels difficult to say this, but it is, I suppose, one of those games where you could really knock one of the other person's title challenge off.
Yeah, and no, it's a weird season where no one's really put together a load of wins on the spin. So, but that is where it could happen, because I feel like we're starting to come into ourselves now, and Tottenham have, I don't like to say it, but they've hit a bit of form as well. So if we can stop them, that'll be great. And it's the Jose likes to beat his old teams, and yeah, it will be a good match. It'll probably the 2 informed teams.
Feel uncomfortable, really, don't we? Speaking about them in a positive light, but yeah, it is what it is. It's a healthy rivalry, and we're hoping to hear from Frank Lampard very, very soon as well. So Jay, if I have to cut you off, mate, I do apologise in advance. But it is a big game, but we've got a big game against Rennes in the Champions League first, and a game that Chelsea have done very well in the group so far. 7 points from a possible 9 from the first 3. You think if you win Tuesday night, that's done, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very much in our own hands. I expect us to qualify for me. The big question is now qualifying in top spot. We know how crucial that can be. And if you finish second, then it opens you up to all sorts of potential problems. So, yes, take care of business on Tuesday night. Spurs will be playing on the Thursday before we play on the Sunday. So they'll have a little less rest than us. And I expect Jose to mention that in the press as well in the build-up to the game. But yeah, look, we're going to find a lot out about this Chelsea side over the next 6 weeks or so. There's talk of a title challenge, and it's when you're top of the table. There's only 9 games, but people are starting to look at us now, starting to talk about us. But when we come out of this period, going into the new year, we'll know a lot about this Chelsea side and how serious this title challenge could be.
Jace, does it come down to that as well? We mentioned it at halftime, and I think pre-match as well, about the squad depth and about that being key. What is the most key in a title challenge? Is it the squad? Is it the mentality of the squad, or is it the actual sort of not the 1 to 11, but I suppose the 1 to 15? Is it quality, quantity, or is it a mixture of all 3?
Well, it's a little bit of everything. I mean, look, you need to have an injury-free squad largely to go on a title challenge. Now, you look at Liverpool. For me, I had them nailed on as title contenders. Title winners again this season. You know, you fast forward 8 weeks, and all of a sudden you're looking at a side that don't have their 2 best centre-halves for the rest of the season. Trent's going to be out. Salah looks like he's going to be missing. You know, this is a game that they could lose this weekend against Leicester. You know, who would have said that at the start of the season? Not too many people. So you do need a little bit of good luck. You need to make sure that the squad is fresh. Suspension's obviously key. And making the right decisions at the right time. And so far, Frank's getting a lot of things right. Tactically, the personnel that he's choosing, certainly the signings we've made have had a big impact. Chilwell, Silva and Mendy at the back, obviously. Kurt's doing his bit as well. The emergence of Reece James. And you know, there's a lot to be excited about this squad. It's still very young, largely. We've still yet to see the best, I think, of Ziyech. Thought he was pretty poor today, in all honesty, by his own high standards. But that can be understanded, bearing in mind we just come back from this national break. Kai Havertz, we've still not seen the best. There's so much that Frank has got in this squad, but we've also got a manager that knows how the mentality is needed to win a title. So look, it's exciting times to be a Chelsea fan right now. And, you know, it's top of the table. When was the last time we were top of the table? Probably when we won it.
Yeah, it probably was. It is. It's a very nice feeling. And Claire, you do get the sense as well, because of the personnel that we've got in the squad, that being at the top of the table won't faze them. You know, you look at Leicester players, you look at Everton players. No disrespect to them, but in fairness, you look at a lot of their players having a slight inexperience about being in this position. You look through Chelsea squad. There's winners in there: Thiago Silva, Kanté, Kovacic, players that have played at the very highest level in the biggest finals. So it won't faze them at all, will it?
Yeah, it takes maturity, and also going back to the old football cliches, you actually just have to take one game at a time. Things can happen so quickly. You see what Jason was saying about Liverpool, and I think touching on the player management from Frank, see Rudiger coming. I don't think he's actually played Premier League minutes. He's just played Champions League. So making sure he's ready, making sure players who are not getting as much football time, enough minutes on the pitch, making sure, they know exactly what they're meant to do when they do come on, and making sure they're able to take their opportunities. So I think that has a lot to do with it. Also, you need character, and you need some laughs in the dressing room. I really do actually miss the dressing room. I miss a bit of banter, and I think you need the balance. You need a bit of lightheartedness sometimes as well. So you have to enjoy it while it lasts.
And I suppose
which will be your season.
Well, yeah, exactly. I suppose what helps as well is because Frank's been a player so recently, he'll have all these grievances that players will have fresh in his mind, and he'll know how to cope with them and how he would have liked managers to cope with them. I mean, Frank was obviously blessed to not really ever be out the squad in his entire career, but for those sort of players, he'll know, and they'll also trust him because he's been in the dressing room so recently.
Yeah, it's that winning mentality, isn't it? And he knows that the small differences and the fine margins. And a lot of it is also, as a player, you have to take responsibility for your own body as well, and your own health, and making sure that you're being honest. I found quite a lot through the career. Sometimes you try and play through things, and it can mess you up further down the line. So for the likes of Mount, potentially, if he's feeling like he's played too many games, I know he's got an absolute engine on him, but sometimes takes responsibility for yourselves. But the backroom staff, they'll manage the players, and yeah, I just think it is a long season in there. So, but I'm very happy with what we're sitting there top.
Perfect. Well, I'd say perfect timing, because Lee Parker has got Chelsea manager Frank Lampard with him.
Yeah, I think I'd come to us now. Frank, how pleased are you with the performance and the result here today?
I'm pleased. Could have been more comfortable in a way in front of goal, because we created a lot, and Newcastle don't give big chances away. They defend very resolutely, back five and across midfield, so we opened them up enough times. But happy after international break, there were complications and challenges of the game. Everyone's been away, they all travelled back. We had a good day and a half together where the lads showed real focus, so the focus showed on the pitch.
We spoke about professionalism, didn't we, pre-match? How evident was that today? Like I said, little time to prepare, and obviously the patience ahead of the second goal.
Yeah, well, we've got a good group of players. The ones that have come in, the players that are already here. There's a desire to do well this season. I felt that before the game today. As I say, getting up early, being away, there are different challenges, but you can overcome them with focus, and I think I saw that in the team. There were moments in the game I think we slowed it down and gave them a little sniff when we maybe didn't need to. I think that's sometimes natural though in the Premier League. Most teams will have moments against you. They didn't have great opportunities really. We defended well when we had to defend well when balls came into our box. and we created probably enough chances to score 4 or 5.
We spoke to Tammy saying he was getting frustrated before the goal came, but I mean, fifth for him this season. A word on him and his
I like that. He should be frustrated, as should Timo be, because Timo gets 2 opportunities. I like that frustration of players who want to score goals and want to consistently get in the positions to do it. That's part of being a top striker, and what Tammy's shown in his performances at the minute and what he can show at all times is a real ethic to work for the team, a pace to be able to give every team a problem with running in behind, and he's doing it. And as I say, across the front now, we can see it's good that players are frustrated. They want to score goals. They want their teammates to score goals. It's all good.
It's quite the run that you're building now. Does it feel like you're winning games that maybe were a problem last year?
Well, it's a good example because we lost it last year. It's not the whole picture, but we had 18 shots last year. I'm not sure if we had that or thereabouts, probably today. But you need to take those chances. It gives you a level of comfort in the game and confidence as a team. And until the second, we didn't manage to have that, and we can maybe be a bit more ruthless on that side of the game. But it's a nice progression that we're doing it. But again, the football, you must keep working on all those things because we've got tough challenges ahead, and it's a long way to go this season. So we're not getting excited, but I'm very happy with today's performance.
We've spoken about team ethic and that winning mentality before as well. And one of the beauties of there being no fans here is you can hear every word from the bench, and you hear voices like Aspi and Giroud. And while they're maybe not on the pitch, the enthusiasm and the encouragement's there.
Yeah, I can't understate what that means to the group and what it means for me when I hear players that have been great players and players of the club and really important members of the squad that are sitting out a game or a period. They support the lads. It means as much as sometimes a performance on the pitch to me, because we'll rely on those players, and that shows the professionals that they are. It shows you the squad that we're building. People relying on each other. We have a big squad, and half of the players every game probably not that happy they're not starting, but when they show personality like that and support, then it means a big deal for us.
Quick turnaround once again, isn't it? What's the plan for the players over the next couple of days?
Recover. We'll be in tomorrow and do some light work for players who haven't played. Recover for 24 hours at least for those ones who did play, and then come Monday we have to start thinking about a very tough match in midweek. So it's in a busy schedule. There's not so much physical work you can do. So the focus and attention of the lads to the small details are really important, and we'll do that in between.
And finally, early days, but nice to be top of the league, isn't it?
It's nice. It will be short-lived because results will happen around us this weekend. But from the start that we had for the new signings, the lack of pre-season, the few injuries we had early, now you see a team that is moving in the right direction. But as I say, that has to be driven daily. We can never become complacent. We must stay humble. Top of the league for 5 minutes. Well, I'll enjoy that in my own little way. But we know that will change, and we need to keep pushing.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you. Cheers.
Appreciate that.
Cheers, mate.
And that is all from us this evening. Thank you very much for joining us. Post-match reaction will be on the Fifth Stand a little bit later on, where you can also see highlights of today's match from 4:30 this afternoon. Billy Gilmore will feature as Andy Meyer's development squad travel to Manchester City in the PL2. We have live coverage from just before 1 o'clock of that tomorrow. And up next for the men's team, anyway, is the Champions League on Tuesday evening. A trip to France, Mendian Czech Soul Club Rennes. We are back for Matchday Live on Tuesday from 4:45 for all the build-up. And also now, there's a new box set on the app which you can get involved with, which is Cup Kings, all our famous cup victories from over the years gone by. Something to reminisce a little bit during lockdown. Some happy memories anyway. Well, another clean sheet, another 2 goals, another 3 points. Chelsea are top of the Premier League. What more could you want? Have a wonderful weekend.